hopefully, reading comments isn't hate speech. Right, YouTube? Well, then go fuck yourself for real. How is the situation going in your country? Well, let's say Miklat, missiles, chaos. You know, classic Israeli shit. Not been a big drama lately. Or was it? No, let me correct you over there, my guy. Klaus actually asked what the 4 in 1 meant, and you're asking me the sword. The sword was pretty much random, and the 4 in 1 also pretty much random. I don't know. What do I think about furry animations? I mean, let's be honest, you have a 60 frames per second 4K animation for what? Making someone choke to the hospital? I mean, oh no, and don't get me started on the inappropriate ones, because then it's like, where the fuck is the safety of your fandom again? Alright, in the trash bin. Yeah, understandable. Do you expect me to trust your fandom in such manner? Gosh. Excuse me, fella. The fuck I am? I'm Jewish. Yeah, Judaism. And no, I'm not a freaking Zionist. I'm not one of those idiots. Yeah, I'm circumcised. I have Brit Milah. And it's dope. Why am I giving my Discord server? Because I want, because I can, because it's a desire from my 2 Kiwis, because, yes, I mean, why not? How and why did you become an anti-furry? Well, this is a very easy question and answer. I was a furry once, and when I realized that nobody told me about the insecurities of the fandom, I pretty much felt betrayed, because how can you just, ignore the fact that a minor is in a place that could possibly be filled with pedophiles? And nobody told me, and I had to discover that by myself, and when I did so, I realized, yo, these dudes can, realize that there is a hacker in the server and they're not gonna tell me. So, I felt betrayed, and I said, you know what? You stab me, I'm gonna stab you even harder, you fuckers. And yeah, that's why in the FTS we're gonna currently use Fox News or government documented stuff instead of swears, because if I was sweared by an anti-furry and bullied by an anti-furry while being a furry, I wouldn't be right here. And by realizing that, I realized that this is going to be a good strategy. No, but actually my unit number is 41, so I'm unit 41. However, I'm still your fucking general. What took me against furries and what took me to make anti-furry memes is, one, I already said, the feel of betrayal, the feel that nobody tells you anything of what's going on, despite it being connected to your security, to your safety, but literally physical and mental safety. And what made me make anti-furry memes is that when I would see anti-furry memes, at start it would be funny, but then I would just see that every anti-furry would just copy from his neighbor, and it was just stolen memes all over again, and I said, you know what? I'm going to make original anti-furry memes. And as you can see, I take clips and I destroy them, and I use those fragments to do new memes, and I make at least 90% of the video original memes that I made from short clips. Oh, that's the easiest question, my buddy. Stay original. Don't steal memes. And if you're gonna steal memes, just steal 5. Just steal 2. That's it. And if you steal memes, steal funny ones. Just use fragments of memes. If you steal a meme, you can also cut it and use one of the sections, or the furry, or the gun / whatever was used against it. No, I don't think I'm going to do anything else that is not anti-furry memes. However, if I do so, I would start, to slowly incorporate non-anti-furry memes into the anti-furry meme section. I mean, if there is a high demand, sure. Or I could do something like Suffer. You see, Suffer is the mini anti-furry memes. And it has some other topic, right? Because it's like me, the furry, roast. It's not canons, no, nothing. It's a mini anti-furries. So, maybe, it could be, not sure. Le cringe over the Illuminati. Because hear me out, motherfucker. I don't care whatever anybody says. That dude ain't no Jew. Now imagine how a grandma would survive to Nazi soldiers. And you know something? The Ukrainians would tell the Nazis who were the Jews in their neighborhood. And then they would steal the stuff of the Jews. No way a grandma would survive. I don't care what you say. And the Ukrainian community, זה cringe. הם cringe, לא אכפת לי, לא מעניין אותי. קרינג', כפרה עליך חביב. אח שלי, נשמה טהורה. If you were to buy a car, which one you would buy? A RX-7 aka Doritos engine or some boring sedan? I don't know, man. Like, I am not a big fan of Doritos engine sound, right? They're like... I don't know. But I'm also not a big fan of, front wheel drive sedan bullshit. I would go with a Lancer Evo 10. Because, I don't know, like, it's an all-wheel drive and you can find them both automatic and manual, so I can both take people to certain places and then drift away from the cops, if you know what I mean. Or just drift in general, way away from the cops. Why do I always need to involve the law? What? Okay, I mean, like, Hitler did invent the sex dolls, right? I mean, I saw it in less evil facts about Hitler. I mean, could be. Or what? And about the I'm not a big Mario fan, but yeah. I think the Super Mario World, the one where you sacrifice Yoshi every 5 minutes. That's cruel. Alright, since a furry would break into your property, and your property is your property, and you're allowed to do anything you want to anyone as long as they're in your property, what I would do is I would somehow put him to sleep, lock him down in the goddamn Miklat, lock him in the Miklat, and then bring knives, bring needles, bring hot water. I would bring fuel, and I would start to torture it every single day without feeding him, at least not something humane. I would feed him more. Yes, literal bread with fungus. I would make him cry every day, every night. I would put him to Chinese water torture every minute possible and make him scream and beg me to kill him.
but I would start ripping his limbs with a knife, with a UK made knife. Slowly and slowly, ripping off with a knife each single of his fingers until his suffer was so much he would die and vomit blood. And before he would pass away, I would force him to drink bleach. That's how we do it.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all for today. I got struck twice, and he was a child, you fucking psycho.